A picture really is worth 1,000 words. It is an odd feeling to find a new hobby when you're older. Shazam might be the 7th or 8th comic I've read, but the first one I'm trying to extract some thoughts about, therapeutically if you will, because I can't quite wrap my head around how these stories aren't taken more seriously for their content. Shazam is a beautiful example of what I'm trying to explain. I went into Shazam blind. Like 5 pages in, I started noticing how similar it seemed to the DCEU introduction set for this year, and honestly I was kind of hoping it would literally be any other story than the one they chose to adapt. Now, I won't know for sure until I see the movie, but, the script, the storyboard, the plot, it's all here, probably. And I thought I knew the gist of these characters. All-powerful, magic-wielding, and that Black Adam was Shazam's rival, but in my opinion, the weight these personas could carry was never properly acknowledged. According to this origin story at least, Black Adam is a vital part of the bigger picture, and deserves to be the other 50% of any Shazam story, sort of like how the Joker is granted access to accompany Batman in any given story. And I know it's not a one-for-one comparison, but if a Batman movie does not feature the Joker, you'll find most people asking, where is the Joker? They're not, complaining, simply curious because the character of the Joker is a near-perfect rivalry. I know I'm new to this, but I believe Black Adam should be synonymous with Shazam. Their dynamic is so compelling, I only wish more people could enjoy it as much as I did. Because this book subverted my expectations in all the proper ways, executing a second narrative twist just when you had let your guard down rather than at the expense of peak excitement. Shazam is a story about the bigger picture. It introduces us to the beginning of a hero, but that hero's story had already begun. Billy is taking on the mantle, becoming more than himself, and the theme of great power bearing great responsibility seems to resonate universally as far as I can tell. This story has great takes on other familiar themes. We have the unwilling hero, but in this case it's literally a child who's gifted an adult body and magic powers for the purpose of war. This would be like a 12-year-old getting her own mech in a modern day war zone. It's a ridiculous premise and hilarious in execution, and Shazam, not the little mech warrior. I don't want to speak about more than I know. Maybe this Shazam origin story has been told more times than Bruce Wayne and Crime Alley, I don't know. But it was fresh to me, and I was hooked on the story as a whole, not each individual page, if that makes any sense. And I mean that as a compliment. The foundational premise won me over. It didn't necessarily matter what happened panel to panel, and I was not expecting that reaction from myself. For Shazam to enter Batman levels of personal interest rather than like Iron Man or Wonder Woman really made me appreciate comic books in a new way. I see a lot of stories use immaturity as a crutch to execute plot twists. Maybe it's youth, maybe it's inexperience, but it's usually predictable. Billy's actions are of course predictable, but it is the reactions from the world and others around him that will stay in the audience's memories the longest. The readers think they've experienced a twist. Billy's immaturity gets in his way. It's predictable. Billy interrupts Francesca before she can finish her important message. We see our young hero rushing out of the subway towards this terrorizing god. The reader has subconsciously begun to come to terms with what is likely to happen. Black Adam isn't going to fall for whatever plan Billy has come up with. So Billy approaches, but not as Shazam. His plan is to speak from his heart, but also as a child. He saw what happened to Adam and his family, to his homeland, and Billy really tried to make Adam see the parallels between the situations. Further destruction would make him no better than the man who ruined his world. This is where the story elevates itself to A+ levels of quality. The extra twist, the one we weren't waiting for because we thought we were already witnessing the consequences. Just like that, Black Adam shows Billy what a villain really is. It isn't easy like good versus evil. It's the threat of strength and overwhelming power against something you care for. And the art does such a good job of conveying the claustrophobia of fear, even in the open air, under the night sky. This to me was a different kind of mind blown, because this isn't a movie or a TV show. These are silent pictures, a silent narrative you've been weaving in your mind, and that allows you to analyze each page a lot more critically. The idea of Adam actually being an angry child made so much sense and was such a satisfying explanation in its own right. It would have explained the wizard's reluctance for a child champion, and it seemed to really give Billy a new sense of awareness and strategy. Black Adam was a lost soul and needed to be stopped. He was a threat, and Billy needed to be the champion. Then there's a dash of realism to have two supermen fighting it out for only one to interrupt and exclaim, "You don't even know what you're doing?" I don't know why I love that panel so much, but I think it's a very cool trait for a superhero not to fully understand their powers. Shazam seems to be a case where it makes perfect sense, and I honestly can't believe how much I enjoyed reading this comic. I hope you enjoyed me raving about this particular story. I will be trying to make more of these videos as a way to ease my mind a little. Any interactions or feedback's more than appreciated. I mean, a comment or critique can help a small channel a lot. Comic books are cool, and I'm happy I found them. Until next time. Later days. Oh, and Shazam!